Enjoy the video. Start the gun violence. Want to sleep.
I'm Grace White. Many people don't realize the night rapper TakeOff was shot and killed in Houston. There were other people injured. One of them is 24-year-old Sydney Leday. She was shot in the head in the early morning hours of November 1st, spent a week in the hospital, and says it's a miracle she survived. Leday is born and raised in Houston and says she's been leaning on her family for support. It's a story we've been working on for months and waiting until she was ready to tell her story. In her first interview, she talks with us about what it was like being there that night and the wounds she's still recovering from, physically and emotionally. Sydney, first, tell us how you're doing.
Every day is different. I'm going through different emotions. I haven't saw a therapist or anything, so most days I'm happy. Most days, I could just, to sum it up, it's a mix of emotions. So I have random times where I feel angry, a lot of, I wouldn't say sadness, it's I have feelings of being grateful that I am still here.
You've made a miraculous recovery. Tell us what you've been through.
I really just can say I'm just grateful to be here, and it's just like sometimes unreal.
Do you remember the moment you first woke up in the hospital?
Everybody was around me. Well, when I first woke up, like I said, I didn't want to be there. I kept telling my mom I want to go home. I had never been in a hospital like that, but I remembered what happened, because when I was up the whole time after I got shot in the head, and I called my mom and told her what happened and to come.
You called your mom after you were shot?
Yeah. And I told her to come to the hospital, but I ended up having a seizure. So I was on the phone with her the whole time. And
so you knew exactly what had happened and why you were in the hospital?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but everybody was around me. My mom, my aunts, my grandma.
I know you said you knew why you were in the hospital, but did you understand the extent of your injuries and what you had survived?
Yes, I did. I was up for the whole thing. I felt the sting in the back of my head. I felt myself falling, and the person I was with picked me up, and we got in the car. But it was like a scary movie, really. Ironically, it was Halloween night. I had on a nun outfit. I had blood all over me, and
you had dressed up for Halloween.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was still my birthday weekend, so.
You had just turned 24.
Yeah. So, like any other 24-year-old, I was just out partying and celebrating, because I really never dressed up for Halloween, and that was something I was excited about.
Did you know the people there that night? Did you know TakeOff was there?
Yeah, I saw everybody. I'm used to being around celebrities, so it wasn't, because I used to live in Los Angeles, so it wasn't like a big deal. It was just more so like just a regular party.
And had you been there the whole night, or what time did you get to the bowling alley?
It was after hours, so I got there around maybe 12 or maybe 1 o'clock, because we had been to a few places. Like I said, we were celebrating my birthday still, and it was Halloween's. And I told the person I was with I wanted to, hang out tonight, because I have my costume and I looked cute. So, yeah, so we got there at like 12 a.m. and everybody was just hanging out. We had a few drinks.
At any point, do you remember being scared before all that happened, or was it, in your opinion, a normal night?
Yeah, it was pretty normal in my opinion. Yeah, I didn't get scared. It wasn't any arguments or anything until the event was actually over. And yeah, that's when I knew something was wrong after the fact, because I thought these people that were arguing was just playing from, like I said, the energy that was in the room before. Everybody was around the table playing a game of dice, so I thought it was just like, you know, some friendly banter.
But that argument or that arguing was kind of your first sign that something was going on.
Yeah, because Quavo, he was upset, so I noticed that something was wrong whenever I noticed that he was really upset and he was finna leave. So the party wasn't finna keep going on. And I saw whenever everything broke out and I tried to run, but I didn't go that far. So yeah, it was really like a movie, like shooting all the way until I got down the escalator into the car, and I'm just telling the person I'm with, like, I'm scared, like, and I knew something happened to me from falling and feeling that stinging sensation.
Mm-hmm. So you were actually running away when you were shot, is that fair to say?
Yes. Yeah, so that's when I got in the car and called my mom, and luckily we were only 12 minutes away from Memorial Hermann.
Wow, so you made it down the escalator into the friend's car. That friend took you to the hospital, rushed you there, and you said you spent how long in the hospital total?
A week.
What was it like when you went home?
That's when the real stuff started. Like, I had a panic attack as soon as I got home.
Do you replay that night in your head and what happened?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a panic attack. And I just remember I didn't really have an appetite. All I really ate was like fruit and just different stuff. I was nauseated, throwing up all the time. Like, yeah, that was just, I feel like that part was even worse than the actual being shot in the head, because I'm actually feeling all those feelings.
Have you read a lot of the articles that have been published about that night?
Yeah. I'm a pretty curious person, so yeah, I wanted to know, because I was having memory problems and I couldn't really write like my name and stuff like that, even to get discharged or, you know, sign certain things in the hospital. So I was having certain problems at first.
Did you realize other people were shot as well?
No. I mean, of course, being in it, you ain't trying to get away from me. You're not, I don't mean to sound heartless, but you're not worried about other people. I was worried about one of my other friends, because I know she was right there by me, and I was worried about her because they told me she was at the hospital, so I actually saw her or something like that. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I had to keep asking, like, you know, to like refresh me on certain things. But yeah, she ended up being okay.
That you didn't realize TakeOff was killed until
After
you
the
got
fact.
home. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was that like to realize that other people were shot that night?
I mean, I actually was going through it. I was sad that it ended up like that, but I mean, we were all in the same situation. Unfortunately, somebody else didn't survive, and I was just grateful that I did, because the place that it hit in my head, I just feel like it was a miracle.